Welcome to Canine Handler Fitness. This is a podcast for dog sport handlers who want to feel strong, capable, and confident in their bodies. Hi, my name's Liz Joyce. I am a strength and conditioning coach, and I specialize in fitness for agility and dog sport performance. In this podcast, we cover everything you need: strength, speed, mobility, and endurance. All the things to keep you moving, performing, and doing what you love, both in and out of the ring. Let's dive into today's episode. Howdy, y'all. It is 2026. This is coming out January 2nd, which means we are a day late. And while we might be a day late, we ain't never a buck short around here. So happy 2026. This is the time of year that a lot of people are doing check-ins. What worked well this year? What didn't? What do I want to actually be better at or feel better at this coming year? And not just in theory or necessarily even in external validation, like meeting certain goals with their dog sport performance, but in your everyday to-day life. As your coach, my goal is for you to have the highest possible quality of life. And that means achieving your dog sport goals. And it also means that for you as a human to be living a life that is your highest vision possible for what you think could be possible for your life. I want to help you get there. It's really important to me. I kind of think about it like our dogs, right? You get this puppy and you're like, how can I make this puppy the best possible version of itself? And you do everything you can to help your puppy just excel everywhere in their life. And that's me with every person that I work with. I want you to be the very best version of yourself, and I'm here for it. Today, I've got a list of 6 things that, in my experience, give handlers the highest return on their effort. I want to say this up front because 6 sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. My intention here is not to imply that you should be doing all 6 of them. You might even be doing 2 or 3 of these really, really well. And if that's the case, that is amazing. But my goal here is simply this, is to make sure that everyone walks away with at least one takeaway that they can use moving forward. And I want you to imagine it's you and me. We're sitting down. We got a hot, high-protein latte. Okay, we're talking about what are we going to do this year that's going to move the needle for you so you can feel like a baddie. This is especially an important conversation if you are busy, tired, and already giving a lot to your dog. Side note, if you're listening to this podcast, it's because you're a dog handler that's interested or currently doing fitness that's more specific to dog handling. And if that's you, I can already promise you that you are giving everything that you possibly can to your dog. So let's make sure that you are also taking a little bit of time for yourself so we can improve all of those things for you. Number 1, the first thing we're going to talk about is understanding what your fitness progress actually is, the early part of your fitness progress. What actually is happening here? Because this one is going to remove some unnecessary pressure. People head into workouts, especially if they've been on a break or they're starting to work out for the first time, and treat their workouts like performance testing rather than learning movements. Rather than teaching their workouts like lessons, they treat them like performance testing. And I can tell you what happens. They burn out and they get hurt every time. So if it sounds like you and you've been starting to work out, you've done it several times, and every time you get going, you get hurt or it's too much and you get burnt out, know that this is a common pattern. It's not just you. If you're new to working out or you're returning after time off, okay, the first 6 to 10 weeks of progress aren't necessarily about building more muscle or about big strength gains or seeing how much fatigue can you possibly tolerate in your workouts while you're still doing heavier movements or whatever it looks like to you. What it's about is neuromuscular adaptation. And in normal human language, this means that your brain's learning how to use your body more efficiently. That includes things like firing your muscles with more intention, like firing the muscles that are around the area that you're working, and also coordinating muscles so that the motion when you're contracting the muscle is smooth and controlled, that your joint is working in a controlled motion. All those kinds of things are neuromuscular adaptations. This is why when you first start working out, your movements feel smoother before they necessarily feel stronger. So the first things you want to look for is, does this feel smoother? And also, is my balance improving, right? Balance improving should be happening before your endurance necessarily skyrockets, which looks like you might be able to do a step up with better balance before you can do 20 step ups. And lastly, your exercises are going to start feeling less awkward before they feel necessarily easy. So less awkward could look like a lot of different things. All kinds of motions can feel awkward for people depending on their fitness experience and also their fitness level. And what we're looking for in these first 6 to 10 weeks is that it just feels more controlled and less awkward. And this phase matters so much. And if you're in this place and your body feels like it's learning motions or coordinating movements or figuring things out right now, this is progress. This is a part of the progress, okay? This is an important part of the progress. I want you to treat the first few weeks, right? Even the first 6 full weeks as movement learning, okay? We're learning lessons in your workouts instead of performance testing. This is going to help you stick with it for longer and get better results, both short and long term. I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't be working hard in your workouts. What I do see happen sometimes is that people think, if I've been taking some time off, it's been 6 months since I worked out, I'm just going to pick up where I left off. I'm going to go run for a mile as fast as I can, and then I'm going to do 20 push-ups and 20 step-ups on this high object, and if I can't, I'm a failure. And, it doesn't work like that. The second thing we're going to talk about is to please stop training randomly, okay? You need intentional workouts. The workouts that you're doing should be training your body. That's the difference between doing workouts and following a training plan. Your workouts should be including movements that are going to intentionally transfer to the things that you need to do on course, like sprinting, decelerating, we're going to talk about that, rotating at speed, right? And also being pulled unexpectedly. So while it's important to be asking yourself at the end of the workout, did I work hard enough today? That should be a question. The more important question, though, is what did this workout teach my body to do better for my dog handling today? Did I learn a lesson today? Did I reinforce a pattern that's going to transfer to me being able to handle better? And that question is going to change everything. Number 3, I want you to learn how to control your core and not just have one. And this is a huge one, and it's often misunderstood or maybe not misunderstood, but people just don't know how to put it into action. And that's fine. This is why we hire people who do know, or we explore on our own to figure things out. Because as handlers, we need to be able to brace when force hits us or we're tugging with a dog that really can't get enough of that toy. We also need to be able to rotate cleanly without collapsing into movement patterns or using muscles that shouldn't be controlling the motion, like our lower back. But if we're not trained to control and use our core there, we are going to rely on muscles that are more strong. And the last thing is that we also need to be able to learn how to slow rotation, okay? This is how we're going to transfer power from our legs to our arms, keep our body coordinated, and improve our balance and our expression of the strength that we're working on. We coordinate your upper and your lower body and train it right through your core so everything is working as a unit. You're going to be able to express power and speed way more efficiently. This is also going to help your posture stay intact when your dog pulls or if you need to change direction. So this is a quick checklist. If when you're doing your workouts, whether it's with me or with somebody else, if your core training includes bracing, anti-rotation, and also controlled rotation, you're doing the right thing. Number 4, let's make sure that the mobility and flexibility time you're allocating to your fitness routine is going to hit where it actually matters. Because mobility doesn't mean stretching for 30 minutes or having the expectation you're going to stretch for 30 minutes or go to yoga 3 times a week. For handlers, the biggest payoff for us usually comes from our hips, our ankles, and our thoracic spine or our rib cage. And when mobility is limited in these areas, your body will compensate elsewhere. And this often shows up in our feet, in our knees, in our lower back, or our shoulders, even our neck. And this is the distinction between flexibility and mobility. Flexibility is a range that you can reach. That might look like sitting on the ground, on your bottom, with your legs straight, reaching forward and touching your toes. That's fantastic. Mobility is your ability to have control in that range. So instead of reaching forward in a passive way when you're seated, it would look like standing up with weights in your hands. I'm not explaining this in great detail right now, so please don't hustle out and do this, and go through that same range of motion, but using the hamstrings, glutes, low back, core to make that happen. That is the difference between control in that range, strength in that range, and having access to that range. What you need as a handler is mobility. A part of that, of course, is going to be stretching. And a more important part of that is going to be able to express this range when you're actually training your body. This comes up a lot when people send their form review videos into me for sprinting is a great example. And I'll look at the clip and say, hey, Sam, I see when you're going through this sprinting that your knee is lacking some of this range. We're missing out on some of the power we can generate here. I want you to focus on the cues of using that knee to pull you into your next stride, driving your knee as high as you can. I usually give 2 or 3 different options because people connect to different things, of course. And also, Sam, I need you to send me a video of what your step-ups with your knee drives look like. Do you have the mobility and the range of motion to physically do what I'm asking you to do in your sprinting? And if you don't, let's make sure that we're focusing on this particular piece of the puzzle when you're doing your strength training as well. Number 5, this is really important. You need to be able to train your body to slow down. Most people train acceleration. We're way better at accelerating. We're way better at running fast than we are at slowing down. We're much better at coming up from a squat than we are lowering into it. But we have to be training deceleration. It is so important for us as handlers. Dogs pull forward. They can change direction suddenly. Even if you know the direction change is coming, you still need to decelerate for it. And also turning, stopping, redirecting, all these things happen fast. And if your body can't absorb force well, something else is going to take the hit, okay? And we don't want that. When people are training sprinting with me, I will have them set up a 5-meter zone on either end. So they got a 5 meter or 5 yards. I'll have them set up a cone or a marker. I want you to try to hit your top speed before you hit that first marker. Then you're going to run as fast as you can. And then you also have a deceleration zone on the end where when you hit that first cone, I want you to start decelerating when you are at that first cone and try to get to a standing or a full stop by the time you hit that second cone. So we're working intentionally that deceleration aspect of sprinting, which is going to help you handle so much smoother. A lot of people sit for work, drive a lot to go to training, and then ask their bodies to run as fast as they possibly can and slow down in soft or uneven surfaces. And it's really hard on us. These little tips and tricks can make a huge difference in your confidence and ability to do those things. This also shows up in strength training. So you can come up from a squat, and that's fantastic. Can you use those same muscles to lower when you're squatting? And you might be able to stand up from a lunge or get up onto a step or do step-ups. Can you also control and use those same muscles when you're lowering into the start position of that exercise? These things are going to protect your joints and make you more confident on course and in your life. Lastly, I want you to think about training your body like the teammate that your dog already thinks that you are. They read your breath, your posture, your confidence. How your body moves when you're handling them is going to give them information about what it is that you need from them and also impact their emotional state. When your body feels and is supported, your handling is going to improve. And often without you consciously trying to just do more. And taking care of yourself will improve your fitness, but it doesn't just change your fitness. It changes your clarity, your leadership, your connection to your dog. And for a lot of us, having dogs and doing dog sports with them are the things in our life that make us light up the most. When you can participate more fully in these things, everything in your life just gets so much better. Heading into 2026, I'm not asking you to overhaul everything, right? There's a list of 6 things. I'm going to list them in a hot sec. I want you to maybe pick like one thing from the list, just one. And you might realize after I talked about this stuff that you are already doing a few really well. And either way, it's a win. People get really down on themselves. And I hear from people multiple times a week, every week, and have for years. They're holding a lot of shame about what their body cannot do. And I want you to do your best, your very best, to think instead about information when you're having a challenge doing or executing something that you want or need to be doing for your dog sport. It's information about things that you have a lot of control over most of the time. And here's the list. Number 1, understanding that your early fitness progress, your attention and focus should be on movement learning rather than working under fatigue or doing a lot of performance testing. While it's great to have a performance or a fitness baseline and do testing once a month, that's fantastic. And also your first stages here are about learning to move better. Number 2, to stop training randomly. If at the end of every workout, you can look at what you did and say to yourself confidently, that workout was challenging and it had a lot of lessons for me that I'm going to be able to use in dog handling. Number 3, learning to control your core and not just have one. We have to be able to transfer the power from our legs to our upper body, connect our body, and use it as a unit. Number 4, improve your mobility where it actually matters. Random stretching is going to be great. And if you can take that range that you're building into your strength workouts and develop control and strength in those ranges, that's going to go a really long way for you. Number 5, and this is so important, is to learn how to slow down. Train your decelerating when you're sprinting, when you're changing directions, when you're doing your strength training, all that stuff. And lastly, I want you to train like a teammate. They read your breath and posture and your confidence, and training like a teammate to them is going to help your connection on course and in your life. Next week, I've got Heather Sumlin coming on to talk about goal setting. She is a boss babe if you don't already know her. And I look forward to having that conversation and talking with you throughout 2026. I got a lot of awesome plans and a very custom app coming out soon, which I'm really stoked about. So I look forward to sharing that with you as time goes on, and Happy New Year. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for being here with me today and choosing to spend this time investing in yourself. I hope you feel encouraged to take action. Even the smallest steps forward will add up in ways you cannot even imagine yet. If this episode gave you something to think about or lifted you up, please share it with a friend. You really never know who might need these tools today. For more information, practical tools, and resources to help you get stronger and confident both in and out of the ring, head on over to caninehandlerfitness.com. You can also find me on all the socials under the same name, so come on over and say hi. I'm here to help you build the skills, knowledge, and belief you need to reach your goals. Keep going, keep learning, and most of all, keep showing up for yourself. You've got this, and I'll be here cheering for you every step of the way.